Hi, I'm Dani Gasparini, and welcome to this segment of Penn Voice. Today I'm joined by Pamela Estes, who is the president of the board for the Redwood City Parks and Arts Foundation. Pamela, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So before we sort of get into some of the meat of what you do as a board of directors and volunteer group for Parks and Arts, tell us a little bit about how you're involved with the city and what are the kinds of mission that you have for Parks and Arts.
Well, the Redwood City Parks and Arts Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit, and we are separate from the city and the commissions that deal with the Civic Cultural Commission and the Parks Department. But our mission is to support the Parks Department and arts and parks and culture and community in Redwood City. It's a fairly broad mission.
Right, and I think that if you look at all of our cities and counties up and down, not only the peninsula but in the state, we're all forming these kinds of foundations to support some of the things that cities or counties typically do, whether it's an education foundation or what have you. So it's sort of along the same structure, that you will. You're not part of the city, but yet you work in partnership and in conjunction with the city of Redwood City to bring, like you said, additional programs in arts and culture to the community. So let's dive into some of the things that your group is doing specifically.
Well, we do fundraising, and we also organize volunteers for different projects that support the city. We collaborate with other partners. We have signature projects where we raise money to help bring additional programming to the schools. For instance, the last couple of years we've been able to raise over $30,000 for America Scores, which is an after-school program that is in the Redwood City School District in ages 2nd grade and 3rd grade. And we have volunteers that help with the city events like Oktoberfest, in the Salsa Festival, and the July 4th Parade. And then we have a couple of our signature programs as well.
So how do you determine what the signature programs might be? I mean, there's so much out there, from things like signature sculptures or building parks or doing events. I mean, how does your group of volunteers and your committee decide what you're going to tackle?
Well, we're an all-volunteer board, and so we have meetings monthly, and we collaborate very heavily with the Parks Department, and then it also depends on what the interests and talents are of the board themselves. And so we have, for the last 2 years, done a chalk festival on the 4th of July, and that's been a really fun event to try to bring artists and showcase artists in Redwood City at a time when Redwood City has a large number of people in the downtown area anyway, because of the parade that the Peninsula Celebration Association has been doing for decades. And then we also wanted to have another fun event, and as you said, there are many things already going on in the city, and we talked about it and discussed it for a long, long time to try to figure out what was new and different from what else was going on. And so we landed on an event called Picnic en Blanc, and we do it on the weekend before Labor Day, and it's a fun fundraiser, and we just wanted to have an event that was really a lot of fun. And so we choose a secret location, and people don't know until the day before the location where they're actually coming, but it's a nice dinner party. People bring the picnic, and then we've had bands, and it's just 3 hours of community fun
and if
visiting.
My brain is working, it was on the top of a parking structure.
The first year we were on the top of the Marshall Garage, and then this last year we were at the Shinyuan Buddhist Temple up in Emerald Hills.
So, and again, I think the fun part of it is not really knowing where you're going to be, so that's part of the mystique of the event. But so take a look past. What can you point to in the city that you can say, Parks and Arts Foundation was part of that?
I think we just really bring more to a lot of different things. We've been able to help leverage volunteers to help with the Bucket Brigade on the Friday night concerts all during the summer. That was started by Barbara Pierce and some other volunteers, and then they turned that over to us, and we've been able to manage that. We've brought volunteers to the Oktoberfest events, to the Salsa Festival events. We've been able to sponsor events. We were the first sponsor of the Magic Lantern 3D, which is that imaging that goes on the courthouse. We were able to sponsor Art on the Square for the last 2 or 3 years, and in our booth space we've actually offered that booth space to art groups that want to showcase their work. One was a children's group that were all children who had cancer, who were in an art therapy, and they were able to display their work. We've had Sequoia students and I think Woodside High School students that are in a photography class display their work. And so it's been a fun way for us to not showcase ourselves, but really help leverage our resources to help showcase other people in the community as well.
So I really like the word that you're using, leverage, because it really shows that for every donated dollar, you're really leveraging it to be a lot greater of an investment by using other organizations that are doing the work in the community. And I'm also hearing volunteers. So it sounds like that you're always in need of folks who want to give of their time, whether it be something one time or ongoing, perhaps sitting on a board or a committee. So tell us a little about the need for volunteers.
Well, as I said, we're an all-volunteer board, and so anyone who's interested in advocating for parks and arts and Redwood City community in general is welcome to contact us. You can go to our website, rwcpaf.org, and communicate with us about your interest in being on the board. But additionally, we put out a call for usually through social media for volunteers for the Oktoberfest, the Salsa Festival, and the July 4th event. And we also have had several people just come to us with ideas who didn't know how to make them happen. And we've been able to collaborate with them and find resources for them and help them make things happen in the community. We had a young man who was really interested in street art murals, and so we have a project now called Open Paint and CATA, which is Community Advocacy Through Art, who is raising money through open paint nights, free paint nights that are currently held at Cyclismo Cafe, where you can come and paint for free, and proceeds are turned back to the foundation to help put more street art murals in Redwood City. And so we also had a young filmmaker come who wanted to film. He's a Redwood City resident, wanted to write a film and actually produce it in Redwood City, and so we served as his fiscal sponsor. This year we're serving as the fiscal sponsor for the Redwood City Sesquicentennial Celebration Committee, which is able to fundraise because they've been brought under our arm for the year to be able to fundraise and seek out sponsors to help support the calendar of events that are going on all year long in Redwood City.
So it sounds like whether, again, you want to volunteer, or if you have a great idea, or you just want to give money because you want to be a part of this great movement, it's the Redwood City Parks and Arts Foundation is where sort of your first stop should be to get involved and or to give and see what you're doing.
That's right.
You mentioned the website.
Yes.
What else are we going to find on there? All of the dates for future events. It sounds like you're doing something almost on a monthly basis if somebody wanted to stay active with your organization.
Yes, we're very busy starting from this year we're very busy almost every month. And so there is a calendar of events on the website, and then there's more details about some of our signature projects if people want to read more about them.
And that's one of the ways that you raise money is through these events. So whether it be a ticket price or an opportunity for someone to sponsor or underwrite or be involved, sell their wares as you do at Arts on the Square.
Yes.
Those are all ways in which you fundraise to put back in this pool to then grant to either projects or initiatives or events to bring, obviously, parks and arts and culture into Redwood City.
Right. The Chalk Festival and the picnic in Blanc, we do seek out sponsorships for those events particularly. We've had people donate to the foundation as a memorial to a loved one. We also take stock. We had someone support recently with a gift of stock. So there's many different ways that someone can contribute to the foundation.
And I know I sit on the Redwood City Improvement Association board, and you're very active as an organization within the downtown business group as well, with all of your happenings and support and sponsorships and things like that too, as you mentioned with the 3D lantern light show.
Yes.
Thank you so much, and we're already out of time, but I hope that you'll join us again and tell us a little bit more about other happenings for the Redwood City Parks and Arts Foundation.
I would be happy to. Thanks for the opportunity to be here today.
Thanks, Pamela, and we'll see all of you next time on Penn Voice.